Imagine you're going to buy a race car. You go to the dealership, you look around, but you're only making your decision based on the top speed. This car has a top speed of 210 miles an hour, and this one has a top speed of 209 miles an hour. So you know what? I'm buying that one because it's faster. It has a faster top speed. This is the one that I should be getting. You don't take into account, can it corner? Can it brake? What would the lap time actually be once you got it onto the track? You ignore things like handling. So when you get out on the track, yes, you have the fastest top speed on the track. Congratulations. But when you're crashing into the wall at 200 miles an hour because the thing can't corner, but somebody else who's going 209, 208 miles an hour is able to go ahead and complete a lap, you're going to look a little silly. And that's exactly how silly you look when you buy a smartphone based purely on those stupid benchmarks. I'm done with them. That's all you see. You see so much nonsense. Oh, the benchmarks for the Tensor G3 are awful. Oh, it's like a 3-year-old processor. Oh, it can't do this. Oh, it can't do that. Nonsense. The handling, the braking, the cornering, all of that stuff is made up by software and optimization and all the other extras that you get with a smartphone. So please, if you take nothing else away from the next 6 or 7 minutes, take away this. Do not make a decision on whether you buy a smartphone or not based on some arbitrary nonsense testing that, yes, some phone will have a little bit better score than another phone. It has nothing to do with real-world performance. It has nothing to do with the tasks that you're actually going to do on a daily basis. It does not take into account the extras and the optimizations that a software or a company can bring to a smartphone. Okay? That's the one thing that I want you to take away. Because in my experience, the Pixel 8 Pro, and you've seen a lot of comments backing this up, and I am no friend of Google. They sent this phone, yes. But as I've mentioned, you could go back and look at the videos. I am pretty critical of Google as a company. I think that they make a lot of nice stuff, but they do a lot of dumb things too. So for me to say this, it means something. This phone is as smooth, almost, as the experience I'm getting on the S23 Ultra. It is a well-optimized, smooth, excellent experience so far. So if you want to sit there and, yes, technically, on that chart, the G3 Tensor is somewhere along the lines of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 from a year and a half ago, too. Just about. So you might say, well, that's terrible. How can I put it? But it doesn't take into account a lot of the optimizations and a lot of the extra stuff, the customization that Google does to the chip that make a difference in the actual performance that have nothing to do with just raw speed. The other thing I saw was the phone can't game. Can't game. I saw the one thing on Twitter that it can't play Genshin, which everybody with the Genshin, and I downloaded Genshin to check this, which if you know anything about this game, is the worst experience in the world downloading this game. And I've had to do it so many times for so many reviews across so many different platforms. Because every article that I write for Android Police, people want to know how Genshin runs on it. A tablet. Mid-range tablet they want to know again. So I downloaded it. 27 gigabytes. Then you got to sit there. That's got to verify the game files. Then it's got to compile shaders. And an hour and a half later, you get to play. So I'm going to pull it up. Make sure there's nothing like sensitive information is on here. We'll pull it up. But that's what the one thing I heard. It cannot play Genshin. You'll see. Watch. You'll sit here for an hour as it loads up. Loading the different shaders and stuff like that. But I want to show you how it runs. And is it on high settings? No. Is it on, whatever setting for the frames? No. But I'll tell you this. Oh, look at this. Preparing to load data. It can't even... We'll leave that for a minute. But I want to show it because I think it's important. So we're going to take a minute here and let it load up so you can see how well it runs. On the medium settings, it's actually a pretty decent experience. So I don't know what that person was doing. This phone, when you download a lot of stuff, this has happened on every platform I've downloaded Genshin on. It heats up. So if you let it sit there for an hour, downloading the 28 gigabytes, then it's loading, then all the rest of it, there's going to be some heat in the system. So if you go ahead and play it immediately after that, yes, I believe you might see a little bit of slowdown there, just performance-wise, because you're going to have the difficulty. Let's try to eliminate some of that white balance there. I don't know if this screen can be any wider than it is right now. But here we are. We're in the game. I'm being attacked immediately. Look at this. Okay? I'm playing right now. Right? I'm getting beat because I'm in a section I probably shouldn't be for my level. But is this not smooth? Is this unplayable? I was told by the internet this is unplayable. You can't play Genshin. You can't game on this phone. Look at this. We're running this just fine. No issues. Yeah, you want to say medium settings? You want to say it's not the smoothest in the world, even though it looks pretty smooth to me. You know, I'll tell you what. Genshin hasn't run well on any platform I put it on. It stinks on almost every phone that I put it on. So that, to me, was of the top tier performance that I've seen on Genshin before. The other thing I saw is that it lags. Oh, you can't scroll over to the whatever news screen. You can't go over to this. Oh, it lags when you do this. Oh, look at that's a horrible. I guess if you say so. That's a pretty horrible experience. Look at that. That's painful. I don't know if I could manage that. That's pretty bad. Look, if there were actual problems with this phone, you'd hear them here first. I am the first one that's going to sit there and eat Google's lunch because I have no tolerance for it. Especially now when you're charging $1,000. If you charge $1,000, guess what? You get judged to a pretty high bar. This phone has been, you see, it still doesn't have a case on it. Usually I take the cases off to do the videos. I have not put a case on it. It's dumb. I know that. But it's that great of an experience in the hand, whether it's the flat display. I've seen people say about, oh, the edges are sharp. Or what. Last year, the edges were a little sharp on the phone. This year, not anything you're going to notice. Really good. Battery life has been really good. If someone's complaining about the battery, hey, they might have a bad unit. I don't know. They might have a rogue app on there. They might just have one that's not working well, which is totally possible. You know, Google's quality control has not necessarily been the best over the last few years. But I bet you a lot of people on the first day overreacted to the battery life because the battery life, and you saw that in my impressions video, battery life wasn't great the first day. Let it do its thing. It's gotten better every day since. And now we're to the point where we could easily get 7 hours of screen on time, which for a Pixel device on a G3 or on a Tensor chip that just came out, which usually Google hasn't done the best job optimizing those things right out of the gate, has been pretty good. So if you're hesitant because you want a game on this, if you're hesitant because you're seeing all these things about supposed lag and, oh, it can't do this and it can't do that, nonsense. Listen to the people who have it in their hands and who've had it in their hands for a little bit now, and they will tell you. And a lot of people you see in the comment section, I know some of my regulars are watching, they have this experience as well. This device has been silky smooth. Really, really, really good stuff. You could argue about cameras, you could argue about some of the other stuff, but as far as the basics of a smartphone are concerned, this one checks a lot of the boxes when it comes to the front-end user experience, smoothness of it, battery life, all the display brightness, all the things that I look for in a smartphone. And I know a lot of other people look for these things as well. You're buying that race car. Understand, it's not just a quarter-mile time that you're going for. It's not just top speed. It has to be able to do everything. It has to have that complete package because you could put a Ferrari engine in anything you want, but unless the chassis and everything else in the transmission are there to support it, it's useless. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.